If you have a really busy lifestyle and you are trying to lose weight and don't know how to meal prep, I'm gonna walk through in 4 steps how you can actually do that, a whole framework, a whole process for you so that it will set you up for success. And then I'll dive into more detail with it later. And this is something that I struggled with for a while, and then I figured out a really simple way to do it that allowed me to stick consistently to my meals and lose the weight and also build the muscle that I wanted. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. What's up, y'all? Excited to have you back, and today I'm going to be diving into 4 quick steps that you can do to actually make sure you meal prep and make it very simple for you to really set yourself up for success. Now, before we dive in further, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment below with questions you have or things you might want to see. I always appreciate that. But point number 1 when it comes to starting to actually meal prep is pick a protein source. And when I say pick a protein source, you can pick beef, chicken, turkey, pork, fish, anything like that. So just go to your local store, and what I would suggest here is, for me, the things that made it very simple, especially for maybe you guys and girls out there that aren't great cooks like myself, well, I had to keep it very simple. So something that I did, I just got the ground turkey or ground beef, or got a couple chicken breasts and then grilled them. That's what I did. But pick a protein source that you really like and just get it in bulk, and then cook it in bulk. That's the first step. Don't overcomplicate it. So for me, what I would do, I would typically go towards beef, and I would get a couple pounds of it and then just toss it in a pan or something like that, and then just cook it. And then it was very, very simple for me to basically just start to separate it out into containers. So that's step 1, is pick a protein source. And remember, if you don't know what a protein source is, it's going to be fish, beef, chicken, pork, turkey, anything like that. Those are great protein options. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is pick a good carbohydrate source. And for me, my go-to carbohydrate source was actually sweet potato fries. I love sweet potato fries, but you can go grab sweet potatoes or regular potatoes or maybe some rice or anything like that. You can hop on Google and just Google carb sources, then boom, it's like, so you'll be able to pop up a bunch of different things. Typically fruit, those are carb sources as well. So if you're going to grab some fruit, they're usually very heavy in carbs, like pineapple, apples, different things like that. But if you're going to pair a carb source with a protein source, I have seen that specifically usually rice, sweet potatoes, or even like sweet potato fries, or maybe you can find some fries that aren't super high in fat and you can cook them in an air fryer. Those typically pair really well when it comes to a protein source, and you can make a bunch of different meals with it. But that's the second thing, is go pick your carbohydrate source. Third thing is pick a veggie source. And when I'm not the best with this, because when it comes to veggies, I have to improve this side of it because veggies is not something that I really enjoy. But I have my go-to veggies that I'll pick. Typically, I will pick either asparagus, broccoli, green beans, Brussels sprouts. That's about it. What I do is I will pick one main veggie source and then just spread it across all of my meals. Is that maybe the best thing to do? No, but it does give me some vegetables inside of my meals throughout the week, which is just sets me up for a little bit more of success. Now, vegetables, just remember, typically they'll have some carbs in them, but it's not really that high. So those are the first 3 steps. Number 1, pick a protein option. Number 2, pick a carb source. Number 3, pick a veggie source. Fourth and final thing, and maybe this should have been point number 2, but pick some good seasonings. And I grabbed one seasoning just to show y'all. I love this Grill Mates, this Montreal, I don't know if you can see that, but it's this Grill Mates Montreal seasoning. Also, you can go to basically any grocery store, and I went ahead and pulled it up, but Kinders, I think that's how you say it, but they have really good, if you can look there, they have really good seasonings. A couple of the ones that I really like, their lemon pepper seasoning is really good. Also, they have a coffee seasoning that's fantastic. Lemon butter garlic seasoning is really good. So those are just a couple seasonings you can get. And why I say grab some seasonings is because, okay, if you are getting a protein option, you don't want to just eat it plain. You want to make sure that you put some seasoning on it. So what I would do, let's say I got beef. Well, I'd toss it in there, and then I'd get this and then just sprinkle it all over the top. And that way I could actually have some flavor to my meals. Make sure that you don't like just eat food that is bland or doesn't have a lot of flavor, because you want to do something that you can stick to long term. So those are my 4 steps when it comes to meal prepping. I will take some time to dive into this more and more, but I want to just give you high level how I approach it. I'll get my protein, prep it, and then I will get my carbohydrate source. Typically it's rice for me, and just cook that, and then I'll just spread out my containers, 5 containers or 6 containers for the week. Then just divvy up, just put it on the scale, weigh out the rice in grams, and then from there I'll put my protein on it, and then voila, and then obviously add the veggies, but then voila, my meal prep is done for the week. And it doesn't take that much time. Typically, if I'm gonna do this, it'll take at most an hour. Most of the time it took under an hour for me to do this, because if you're cooking some ground beef or ground turkey or something like that, it's not gonna take a whole lot of time to cook inside of the pan, and you're gonna be able to dish it out. So that's what I got for y'all. If you have some, and maybe if you need some different variation for your meals, then my suggestion would be go to a meal prep source, or maybe pick one main protein option, and then pick a couple different carb sources, like a good base. So maybe some sweet potatoes, potatoes. If you go to the frozen section, there's actually some really good frozen potatoes that will have some seasoning options in them. And maybe one of these days I'll just take the camera to the store and I'll show you all a couple of different things that I would typically pick. Now my wife fortunately does all of my meal prep for me, so I am very fortunate. I really do not have to do any of it right now, and she is a phenomenal cook, and I really, really love that. So those are my tips for you. If you have questions on it, please let me know. But other than that, have a fantastic day, have a fantastic week, and God bless.